All America, all the time. Sit down, buckle up, and get ready for The Dan Bongino Show.
No way, right? No way the bombshell, and that's an overused word, not in this case, bombshell story about a big election, voter fraud, voter registration scandal in the deep blue state of New Jersey. No way it could get worse, right? No, well, it did. Here's my shocked face. You're like, Dan, that looks like your normal face. That's because it is. We've only been saying for years, if you don't have faith in the election system, just like faith in currency, that it's worth anything, the whole system falls apart. Hey, here's $1. I don't believe that's worth squat. I'm going to need your refrigerator instead. Elections are the same way. Democrats have wanted to cheat for years, for decades. They hate any voter integrity measure. We exposed it. Actually, I take that back. Like, there had been activities going on behind the scenes that made them expose themselves. I was on with Vince Colanese yesterday in his radio show, and Vince brought up a point I hadn't heard from anyone else. Like, you think the timing of New Jersey saying, hey, we got a voter fraud, voter election problem was accidental? For the nothing is happening people. I get it. The doomers, grifters, the bums, the zeros, the losers who hate the Trump administration. You think the timing of that was all accidental? Oh, sure. Okay. This story has gotten worse. I'm going to get to that in the beginning of the show. Also, the Dan Bongino cannibalism theory of leftist and unfortunately now, in some cases, MAGA politics has now been confirmed. You are seeing it. The cannibalism theory is very simple. The left primarily, although you're seeing it creep over in our movement too, the left loves power politics. They use victimization as basically their badge of honor. That's their badge of honor. I'm a victim. I'm a victim because I'm Hispanic and I'm discriminated against. I'm black, I'm discriminated against. I'm a woman, I'm discriminated against. I'm LGBTQIA 2+1. They've created endless categories of victims. I've told you over and over, how many freaking times, fellas, for the last 10 years, the problem with victim politics is eventually the victims' interests don't align. In other words, if you're a minority group like Asians, you're supposed to be a victim too because you're a minority, right? But what happens when Asians are discriminated against in college applications? And it's the left doing it. All of a sudden, like, wait, I thought we were minorities. We're all together. Fat Barney the dinosaur. Sharing is caring. Fat Barney. I thought we were doing Fat Barney. Sharing is caring. What happened? We're not sharing and caring anymore? You're damn right. Stop Asian hate. We should get a sign here. Wow. Now, cannibalism is starting to eat up the unholy alliance I've told you about too. The unholy alliance is communists and Islamo-fanatics. I'm going to show you how LGBTQIA 2+1 spirit, ABCD, all of a sudden you're on the out. You're on the outs now too? Oh, I don't say I didn't warn you. Don't say I didn't warn you. Hey, don't wait till your family's scrambling out of a smoke-filled house to install a smoke detector. It's no way to prepare, right? You don't wait till the wind is howling, rain is hammering the windows, and the power goes out to prepare for a hurricane either, especially down here in Florida. You don't reach for your seatbelt after the impact. You buckle it up before pulling out of the driveway because after the crash or the hurricane or the house fire, it's too late. It's already happened. That's why you diversify with precious metals, because you never know what will threaten your savings next. Persistent inflation, a weakening dollar, unexpected financial disruptions. You don't know what's coming, but you can take a preventative step. I've done it. Do it right now by requesting a free info kit on gold from my friends at Birch Gold Group, BIRCH. Just text my name, Dan, to the number 989898. There's no cost. There's no obligation to take this simple step. Just straightforward information on how you can diversify your savings, even in an IRA or 401k with gold from Birch Gold. Get started now. It's not hard. BIRCH. Just text Dan, my first name, to 989898. Text Dan to 989898. Check out Birch Gold. Message and data rates may apply. All right, fellas, let's get rolling. This is the most important story of the day. Everything we've told you about election integrity, the potential for fraud, the problem with mass mail-in balloting, the problem with ballot harvesting, everything we told you based in logic and reason If you mail stuff through the mail and there's no one at a voting location to check your ID and see who you are, how do you know that's the person who mailed it? What are you going to do? Watch every single person sign and mail it? This was common sense stuff. Leftist media people, hacks, goons, and commies told you, you're crazy. You're an election denier. Guy, you're here the longest. Have we ever denied an election happened? We have not. Thank you. So calling us election deniers makes you look like a bunch of assholes, correct? The New York Times must be election deniers too. Adam Liptak, New York Times, 2012. I can't put this article up enough. It makes a mockery of you leftist media dipshits. Error and fraud at issue as absentee voting rises. I said to Guy, can you find out Liptak? He goes, I've never heard of it. Of course, he's being sarcastic. It's a real article. It's still there. You can look it up. They've already acknowledged that mail-in voting and all of this stuff is an issue. The only reason they changed their mind is because they hate Donald Trump and they think they can cheat to win now. Mail-in ballots back in the day used to be seniors and military folks who voted Republican, so the New York Times hated it. And then when they found out they can use it to cheat in elections, like, mail-in ballots are freaking great, bro. We love them. Wait, you just said the opposite. You just said the opposite. I want you to watch this. I saw this on, was it Jen Pellegrino's X account? She pulled this out. It's a really good video. It's short. I cut about 30 seconds of it. This is pre-2024 election. This is, it's right around the election season, I should say. I don't have the exact date on it. This is NBC News claiming that all this stuff is really just hysteria. Nothing to see here, folks. Voter fraud, voter registration by illegals. It's all kind of red herring distraction by President Trump. Are we going to get an apology? Everyone, please take this segment of the show or the clip or go to Jen's feed or stuff. You don't need to put me in it. I don't really care. Please tag NBC on X and say, hey, when are we going to get a retraction for this obviously false material? This is how long they've been sticking to this bullshit argument that this stuff doesn't exist, voter fraud, nothing to see here. Check this out.
On the debate stage.
A lot of these illegal immigrants coming in, they're trying to get them to vote.
And at campaign stops across the country.
They're not citizens. They're not allowed to do it. It's illegal as hell.
Former President Trump frequently repeats false claims about migrants voting.
They can't speak a word of English for the most part, but they're signing them up.
That's not true. It's illegal for non-U.S. citizens to vote for president or in any federal election. And there have been few recorded incidents of non-citizens trying to vote illegally. There's also no evidence of anyone trying to get undocumented migrants to vote, according to experts.
Folks, Trump was right again. Trump was right again. Version what? 72.6? Lucky Trump. We haven't had Lucky Trump in a long time. This guy, man, he's the luckiest guy. Is this guy not the luckiest guy? He predicts the blackjack hand before it's going to come out. It's incredible. Lucky Trump. How does this guy keep continuing to get so lucky? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't give homework on the show. Everybody hates homework except that one nerdy kid in the corner. Please, that may have been me in like fifth grade or something, Miss Gilfeather. I'm like, hey, I need to know something. However, please, homework, go to NBC, tag them, and say, when are we going to get a retraction or a correction about this? We're just asking, for the sake of your own integrity, NBC, when are you going to correct that? Now we know that the New Jersey election story, where 6,600 at a minimum illegals were registered to vote, and hundreds of them, in fact, did vote. That story is obviously factually incorrect. I'll ask you at the end of the show this again. It'll come up in a different story. It's right here. Do facts matter to you? Don't answer right away. I know some people instinctively, oh yeah, no, I'm dead serious. To the crazies who watch my show and the dipshits and the Media Matters goons and everyone else, do facts matter to you? If not, what does? If facts don't matter to you, then what does matter? It's a fair question, right? NBC, do facts matter? Retract and apologize to President Trump. You can do it. Remember that Ice Cube song? You can do it, put your ass into it. You can do it. You don't even have to put your ass into it. You can just do it. The story gets worse now. 6,600 people at a minimum illegally registered to vote in the blue state of New Jersey. Wow, what a coinky dink. Hundreds of them do vote. Of course, it's all a Republicans pounce story. Republicans don't focus on the actual scandal. Focus on the reaction of Republicans like me. Republicans pounce. Go F yourself, dipshits. Here's John Solomon last night, doing some great work on transparency, by the way. Here's John Solomon last night talking about how this is now getting uglier and a lot uglier. Ladies and gentlemen, did they know? Did New Jersey knowingly put these? You may say, oh, yes, they knew. We're going to follow the fact. I'm not going to get like left-wing media goofballs. Something's real suspicious here. Put up the headline first, if you would. Here's Just the News. It's an excellent outlet John's affiliated with over there. Software vendor that's being blamed for illegals registering in New Jersey now is disputing the New Jersey governor's glitch claim. Says the state's approved all these foreigners basically on the voter roll. Wow, that's an interesting little curveball. Throw the hook. Time for the slider. Time for Mariano Rivera's cutter. Now we go from, oh, it was a mistake, a software glitch, to the software company going, oh, no, there's no glitch here. We were given this stuff. Here's Solomon on exactly this. This is a major curveball to this story. Check this out.
Last night, the New Jersey governor admitted that 6,600 illegal aliens had made it onto New Jersey's voter rolls. At least that number, it could be a lot larger, and 400 of them actually cast a vote. That is the largest number of foreigners ever to vote in any collection of an election in American history. When we told you that last night, the governor said, not our fault. It was a software glitch. No big deal. Well, overnight, we reached out to the software company that runs New Jersey's system. And you know what they said? There's no software glitch at all. The state of New Jersey knew they were putting non-citizens, i.e. foreigners, onto the voter rolls. It is the state's responsibility to determine who is eligible to vote and who's not. The software had it marked right. There is an investigation of New Jersey now into whether they knowingly were allowing non-citizens to vote and to get on the voter rolls. Remember, a week ago, she sent a letter out saying, if you let non-citizens vote knowingly, you're in trouble. Well, now the vendor's comments raise the very strong possibility that one of the blue states in America may have acceded to allowing non-citizens to vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm on the outside now. However, I am reasonably confident, viewing it from the outside, that the timing here is not coincidental after President Trump's speech on Thursday. There is no freaking way. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Again, no one's briefing me. I'm not in the PDB every morning anymore. I'm telling you, I would not be surprised at all if in the coming days and weeks you see even more blue states coming out as this investigation in Georgia and Arizona gets hot, coming out and trying to beat the news cycle to tell you a story and not the story, which is what Governor Mikey Sherrill appears to be telling you. Oh, it's just a glitch. The software company, oh, no, there's no glitch. Hundreds of people illegally voted in a state where I just showed you the Grok question yesterday. Hundreds of elections were decided over the last decade. Local, city, referendum, ballot referendum by 100 votes or less. NBC, you going to correct your story? Folks, if people don't have faith in the system, there is an easy way to reestablish faith in the system. You believe a product you're using, whatever it is. You buy vitamins, Joey Bag of Donuts vitamins, whatever the hell they are. If that's a real company, I'm sorry that I'm using the fictional version. Joey Bag of Donuts vitamins. You go do a chemical test. You find out there's no vitamins in there. There's an easy way for you to rebuild your company's credibility. You go and get a third party to verify. We're sorry, we screwed up, bad processes, whatever it may be. You're going to have, like Taco Bell and others are going to have to do this too. Maybe bring in like a third-party vendor to check the food sanitation, whatever it may be. That's how you rebuild trust. That's how you can do this now too with the SAVE Act. You can rebuild trust and make these stories not go away, but be less impactful if people at least believe going forward that the problems of the past have been fixed because people showing up have proved who they are. You don't want to, Democrats, because you're enjoying the status quo, which is clearly cheating, which New Jersey admitted to. Folks, again, this New York Times piece, again, more homework for you, 2 in 1 show. This is easy. Just screenshot or bookmark this article. The Democrats in the media, because they're the same thing, used to pretend to care about mail-in voting error and fraud. They wrote a whole piece about it. They only cared at the time because it was Republicans who were using mail-in ballots. Military folks and seniors, largely Republicans, not all. And they were like, man, this mail-in vote, it's such a problem. They even got an election official to admit the more people, this is a quote, folks, the more people you force to vote by mail, the more invalid ballots you will generate. It's right in the damn piece. Adam Liptak, 2012, October 6th, error and fraud at issue as absentee voting rises. Exactly. This wasn't even mass mail-in balloting 2012. This was pre-COVID, where mail-in balloting was limited to basically people with a reason. Now you've got liberal states just sending a ballot to everyone. You got hair gels, California, where they can't even count a freaking vote in an election. We're probably still not sure who the Los Angeles mayor's. This is insane. There is some good news, though. You know what? Put up those media headlines first from CNN. I just want to show you, again, if you are a sucker, and I asked the question before in the beginning of the show, and you've made the stupid choice. SIAC, kids, SIAC. Stupid is a choice, and you've chosen stupid. You don't believe in facts. Why do you not believe in facts, number one? And second, what do you believe in if you don't believe in facts? Here's CNN Politics changing story about election fraud. We going to get apologies from them? Chris Cillizza, the guy who told you Trump's chances of winning in the Washington Post were zero after he won. Election fraud isn't really a thing. Part infinity. You get the joke? You see what he did there? Part infinity. This is really funny for you. Here's Marshall Cohen in CNN Politics. They've diversified the buffoonery around. 6,600 non-citizens mistakenly added to New Jersey voter rolls and nearly 400 cast ballots, governor says. Mistakenly, he's already assumed that that's true. He knows that? Marshall, you've done that homework? You know it's a mistake, despite now allegations from the software vendor that it's not? You going on the record, Marshall, with that? You sure? Here's the story again a day later. New Jersey non-citizen voting reveal isn't all it seems. Aaron Blake, wasn't he in that Chris Cillizza Washington Post headline? Trump's chances of winning are approaching zero. Why do you still believe these people? Guys, listen, I get it. I'm living my best life ever. I enjoy my life. I'm so happy about the last couple of years. But you see the trust in the media scale where less than 20% of Americans right now trust the mainstream media is telling the truth. In some limited circles, they would say, we've got a problem. I'm begging people who maybe just listen to the show on Rumble Shorts or elsewhere, whether you listen long form or not, I'm just asking you, even if you hate my guts, you hate Donald Trump, you hate MAGA, you hate conservatives, I'm just asking you, how many times are you going to be lied to? When I tell you somebody's lying to you, like I have about people who used to pretend to be Republicans, I don't care about their party. When are you going to have that same wake-up call in the media that you sound like absolute morons? Nobody believes you. Nobody believes you. There is an easy way to fix this. Voter ID and the SAVE Act. It's not hard. Here's a piece of good news, because I don't want to sound depressing all the time, because some things, thankfully, are happening on the legislative side. I wish they were moving faster. I think you know that. I've been talking about the SAVE Act forever. Thank you to Mike Lee and others. But there's been some movement on the House side with the SAVE Act. Here's a quick update from Speaker Mike Johnson. This is a mildly positive sign. There's no popping the Dom Perignon, okay? We're not even close to the finish line. But when it moves, and I'm going to tell you about it. Check this out.
The budget resolution that unlocks our third reconciliation bill, which, of course, is Republicans' best shot to get as much of the Save America Act into law as possible, in addition to funding our national defense and our farmers. Many of you doubted our success. Many of you standing around me in the Skaggle right now said, let me read you a sample of the headlines. Quote, House Republicans face final week gauntlet. Another said, Johnson's rocky sprint to recess. Now, many of you like to say that major legislating can't happen in an election year. We just proved you wrong. This week, we continue to deliver for the people, and we're going to continue that streak all the way through the end of this year and into the next Congress.
Nobody celebrate yet. We're not doing the number one foamy finger. Everything's great. I'm just saying, I don't do doomerism either. Nothing's happening ever. No, something's happening. Something's happening. The only reason I bring this up is not because we're under any obligation to kiss the ass of any lawmaker out there. That they work for us. It's not an asshole thing to say. It's true. Our founding documents indicate consent to the governed. House of Representatives means they represent us. Doesn't mean we got to be dicks about it, but it's just true. They work for us. The only reason I bring this up is, folks, we're never going to incentivize these people to do things if when they do things, we tell them they didn't do it. Because then they're going to, well, what's the freaking point? There's no celebrations, there's no cork popping or anything like that. The Senate needs to get the job done. They need to get the job done and cross this thing across the finish line. But endless doomerism doesn't help either. We have to give a balanced, reasonable approach to this, or we're just going to continue to get our asses kicked. We don't want to become the cannibalistic left. I'm going to show you some more evidence coming up in a minute. And Mamdani did it again. I told you the unholy alliance was real. The lib commies and the Islamo-fanatic Nazis, that they're all combining to destroy the United States from the inside. He did it again yesterday, proving it's like he's watching the show and trying to prove me right. Quick break. I got a VDH clip coming up in a minute. And Trump, this guy's just the king of messaging. There's no better advocate for liberty and freedom with this guy and his social media, his ability to pierce through the bullshit. I'll show you what I mean coming up in a second. Hey, you know about All Family Pharmacy? I use them all the time. They just make healthcare easier for me, and they can do it for you too. You've been hearing about this cyclospora parasite going around. It's all over the news. People sick with these stomach issues, and a lot of them want to prepare. Or maybe you're dealing with a bacterial infection, UTI, Lyme disease, some kind of traveler's GI upset, or, all these common illnesses you've had before. The great thing is you don't have to know, you don't even have to know the name of the medication. Just go to their website and search by medical conditions. All Family Pharmacy made it easier for you to find the medications recommended to treat common conditions. If you want to order, like I did, I just was out on a boat trip there. They helped me out. They gave me a couple travel packs. Just complete a quick medical questionnaire. A licensed physician reviews your request, and if it's appropriate, writes your prescription. Your medication is shipped right to your door, right to your front door. You can't beat that. It's simple, convenient. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of finding the care you need. Prepare today. Place your order while sitting. Is that a real line? Place your order while sitting on the toilet. Don't take your phone on it. That's a bad idea. That's how healthcare should work. Maybe sitting at the kitchen table better. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Bongino. You like that? You get the joke they threw in there with the cyclospora? That's good, All Family Pharmacy. I like that. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino10 for 10% off, or call the number below, 561-717-6794. Love this company, All Family Pharmacy. I get what you did there. Prescription required. Always consult a medical professional before taking any medication. This is not medical advice. This is why we have the best reads in the business, right? We did. Today's show also brought to you by Super Sure Insurance. Let me tell you something. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. It's a handshake, commission, done. And you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. Well, that's no way to run a business. Your business runs all year, and so do gaps and risks. So I'm introducing you to Super Sure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just buy a policy online. Super Sure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and for your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like the fine print facts. It translates your current policy into plain English so you can see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what needs protecting. Go to supersure.com/Bongino. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies, one place. That's supersure.com/Bongino. Consult with a licensed insurance provider to discuss coverage options for your specific business needs. Paid for by Super Sure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency. Thank you, Super Sure. We appreciate it. So, folks, I've told you over and over again that President Trump is a very, very gifted messenger. He has the ability to put his finger on the pulse of where the soft spot is for a message to pierce, and he goes there. There's a reason he's accumulated more Black and Hispanic votes, working class American votes, non-college educated busting your ass, dirt under the fingernails, high school graduates who are managing HVAC businesses and electrician businesses. The reason he's done that, ironically, a very successful billionaire is able to relate to the common man is because he doesn't listen to political consultants and messaging stuff. He just has natural instincts for this. It's just, I've seen it in basketball and baseball when I played. There's always that player on the court. We had this guy, Larry, growing up. We played CYO basketball. The guy was not particularly fast. He wasn't tall. He just had incredible basketball instincts and seemed to know where the ball was going to be before it got there. The guy would drop 20 a game, and he was easily the slowest guy on the court. Donald Trump is like the Larry. He's the Larry basketball politics guy. He just knows. He understands that Republicans, conservatives, and think tanks, and you know what? Listen, it's fine. I love think tanks too, okay? He understands that we have written white papers about communism and socialism for 30, 40, 50 years, 60 years now, and it's just not moving the needle. For some reason, the death, destruction, starvation, and deprivation of socialism keeps reappearing over and over amongst this young generation, every generation. So Donald Trump's like, you know what? Let's just call it what it is and just use plain language talking about it. It's a short clip, but we need more of this because I'm tired of being lectured by a lot of old school people like, we just need to do another white paper. I love white papers. It's just not working, guys. Check this out.
With communism, everything turns to shit, okay? It's true. Terrible thing. It's true. My wife hates it when I do that. She said you were doing so nicely, and then you had to use a foul word.
Listen, I love Melania. I think the world of her. I just think you got to give him some leeway on this communism thing. I get it about the cussing all the time. I get it. I understand. My wife says the same thing. So, Madam First Lady, you and Miss Bongino there, they feel the same way about the cussing. I get it. No one wants to see their husband use foul language. I get it. I'm just saying, nobody pierces the messaging blanket like this guy. He's like, let's just call it what it is. It's shit. Okay? You want to read a white paper, you can read it. You can go to Grok. Hey, Grok, are there any successful examples of socialism in forget modern history, in Israel? No, there are not. You can get but that's not working. Folks, the reason it's not working is there are a number of organized ops President Trump exposed last Thursday and a shit ton of foreign money flowing into social media and elsewhere through middlemen designed to hide the origins of this foreign money to get you to believe that a destructive, self-destructive system like socialism is good for you. Now, a guy who's got a different style, but because I want to show you the compare and contrast, and this is in no way, obviously, an indictment. I love this guy. I mean, I think the world of him. But a guy who, if you really want to spend some time getting into the details of the why does this deadly, disgusting, filthy, anti-liberty, anti-freedom ideology of socialism keep recurring? I strongly recommend you listen to Victor Davis Hanson. You will get a PhD course in everything wrong. Here's a brief segment, about a minute, of him talking about this and this messaging issue we have on our side and how it's just fascinating how the lib communists and the Islamo-Nazis and the unholy anti-American alliance keep lecturing us about morality when everything they do is immoral. Stealing, open borders, defunding the police. Check this out.
If you attack the nuclear family as abnormal, and the left does, then you have no civilization. If you think you have to be tolerant to people with psychological problems that sleep on the street, but if you think Los Angeles defecating, there was an article about 100 and something pounds of human waste, 180,000 pounds that they removed from MacArthur Park in Los Angeles.
Oh my, are you kidding?
No, they list. So the homeless, that is medieval. That is medieval. If you think 10,000 people coming across the border to swarm the social services of poor U.S. citizens is compassionate, without any audit at a time when people are being forced to wear masks, to self-isolate, and to get experimental mRNA vaccinations. If you think that's moral, that's anti-civilizational.
Yes, it is. the man is a genius on par when it comes to political philosophy, VDH, that is, Victor Davis Hanson, with like a Thomas Sowell. They may have different backgrounds in economics or elsewhere. Nobody explains it better. You want a longer explanation? He just nailed it. Like, what's moral about defunding the police, letting your neighbor's kid get shot in the freaking head by some drug dealer named Antoine on the freaking corner who like shot or knifed your kid in the back? What's moral about that? What's moral about open borders, allowing foreign countries to send people in illegally, many whom the public charge can't even support themselves, to feed off an American taxpayer that needs their own help right now? What's moral about a public school system, K through 12 and onward, even with state schools and universities that teach kids a bunch of liberal bullshit, stupid ideas, non-fact-based information, so they come out of school and they can't get a job? What's moral about that? Here's Peter St. Onge in a tweet. I love this guy. We've had him on the show. Terrific guest. Strongly recommend his X feed. His videos are amazing. Here he is talking in his tweet about exactly this. You want to blame someone for all the problems in your life caused by systemic discrimination? The system is the government screwing you. High housing costs. Man, that sucks. It does. He says, well, thanks zoning, regulatory restrictions, and Fed rate manipulation and money printing. All, by the way, staples of big government. You don't like high healthcare costs? I don't either. Thank basically Obamacare, government-enforced monopolies, third-party payment, and regulatory mandates. Correct. You don't like wage stagnation? I don't either. Well, thank high taxes, restrictive regulations, again, and government schools that turn out illiterate students. The financial crises and inflation recession cycles are thanks to Fed money printing and bailouts. You can look this up, bro. You can look at receipts. Receipts, there they are. You can look this up. Young people out there, I'm not mad at you for not knowing stuff. You went through an education system where 12 to 18, 20 years of your life, if you're a PhD in women's studies, people lied to you about everything. You have a chance to go out and fix it, though. I'm begging you as a friend, I'm not your enemy. Please go and fix it. You wonder why inflation and the cost of living is a problem? Because big government advocates, by the way, a lot of establishment Republicans have been on this train too, have spent money we don't have. How did the government spend money we don't have? They asked the Federal Reserve to print it for them. That's what they do. This is not hard. I'm going to play the St. Onge video on inflation. It's about a minute for it and say, this is the easiest explanation you're ever going to hear about inflation. I've used it 1,000 times. He says it more eloquently. Here's inflation. We have $100 on an island chasing 100 chairs. Well, I got an idea. Let's print another $100. So there's $200 on an island. Well, if every chair could have commanded $1, 100 chairs, $100 on an island, and you print another, now every chair can be twice as expensive because there's $200 on the island. This isn't hard. Print more money chases the chairs, the freaking bananas, chases the Teddy Ruxpin dolls. This is not hard. You know how you fix inflation? You get people who make chairs to make more chairs to scoop up the extra money. It's not hard. It's freaking math. Here's St. Onge. I just saw this morning explaining this. This is just terrific. Check this out.
This AI thing suggests Warsh may go even deeper, which is fine if AI delivers on lowering prices. So zooming out, there's two things that drive prices. One is old-fashioned money printing, where Wall Street and the Fed magic up dollars to compete with the dollars you paid for in blood, sweat, and tears. Too many dollars chasing too few widgets. Presto, you need more dollars per widget. Inflation. But there's a second type of inflation, which is real costs. So, for example, if Goldman replaces a $250,000 team of analysts with $10,000 of AI, this lowers prices independent of how many dollars Wall Street and the Fed are printing. That's essentially what happened in the early 2000s when cheap China canceled the Fed, so we got lots of dollars and very little inflation. The question is, will AI and robots deliver the goods again? In fact, if you lower costs fast enough, it lowers prices even if Warsh is going nuts with the money printer.
I love this guy. Remember we had him on the show. He had one of the best guest segments we've ever had. I really have him ask for him to come back and just explain that again. Folks, this isn't hard. Why do prices go up? Because you printed a bunch of money and there's more money chasing products. Well, how do you fix that? You make more products. How do you make more products? You incentivize businesses to make more products by getting out of their way, creating an education system that doesn't teach kids about wokeness and the white male patriarchy being the source of all power, like all this bullshit critical theory stuff. This isn't hard. You want to fix the United States? It's difficult, not hard. Well, you just said the opposite thing. No, I didn't. It's difficult because outside money, foreign influence, communist scumbags within the United States just doing it for free because they hate the country, want to destroy this place. And we've got to overcome a massive messaging machine. The fixes are not hard. He just told you the math problem. Just make more widgets. That's what gross domestic product is. Product, what we produce. It's the most frustrating part about being in the opinion commentary business is these opinions are not radical or crazy. They're beyond common sense. But I'll ask you again, if facts don't matter, then what does? What I just told you is a fact. Print more money, prices go up. Make more products, you can suck up some of the money like a sponge. Revolutionary, guys. I just figured this out. Amazing. Can I get a Nobel Prize for economics? And then you've got scumbags like Mamdani, total scumbag. And I'm sorry if the language offends you. This guy is a scumbag and is a threat to this country. The way this guy in just a few months has sucked up the energy of a lot of people who've taken the stupid exit off the highway and chosen stupid as a choice. If facts don't matter, what does? Mamdani ran on the anti-Semitic bullshit stuff, hoping to suck in a bunch of vulnerable people into his socialist communist messaging machine, okay? He lied to you. I'm going to arrest Bibi Netanyahu. I told you because facts matter. Mamdani doesn't really give a shit about Netanyahu per se. He does, but he doesn't. Yes, he hates Netanyahu. There's no doubt about that. You can have whatever opinion you want about Netanyahu. I said to you, I showed you this Wall Street Journal article, that the reason Secretary of State Rubio is doing an amazing job is going after the International Star Chamber Criminal Court, an extraterritorial court in The Hague outside of the United States, is because it's filled with lunatics who want to arrest the Trump administration and anyone else. That's why we don't recognize it. There's a 2002 law, a federal law, U.S. law, our law, the real law, the only law that matters to me. There's a 2002 law preventing any state or entity in the United States for cooperating with an ICC warrant. You can look it up. Again, it's one of those weird pesky facts things. Mamdani knew that, but he lied to his SIACs, his little SIACs out there. I'm going to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. All they had to do was look it up, but they chose stupid. Here he is yesterday outing himself yet again. The Dan Bongino show is almost never wrong about these idiots. Here he is saying again, I'm not really limiting this to Netanyahu. I'm talking about like anyone with an ICC warrant. Oh, you mean like President Trump the second he leaves office? I told you they don't give a shit about Netanyahu. You're next. They care about anyone who's not a socialist. Just listen to their own words. You don't have to listen to me. Listen to them. Check this out.
My interest in executing that warrant is not specific to Benjamin Netanyahu, but to anyone who they put a warrant towards for war crimes and crimes against humanity.
Guys, Josh, you missed this whole drill? I don't know if you watch the show. How many times am I going to have to tell you? To all you, even if you're, one, if you are one of these people, I think you need to have your moment with Jesus and go to confession. However, put it aside for, even if you're one of these people out there that absolutely hates the Jews for some reason, I don't know, someone hurt you as a kid, I don't know, you're taking it out of a group of people, you haven't even met all of you, just collective guilt for everything. Even if you're one of these people, I'm telling you, cannibalism theory, you're next. They don't care. You can be sitting out there with your Ku Klux Klan hood on, screaming, I hate the Jews. The second you're not useful to the Mamdani crowd, you're next. You doubt me? put up that tweet, that Visegrad tweet. The cannibalism theory, here it is. Don't take DB's word for it. Just listen to them. I need you to read this, folks. Visegrad 24. Melissa Chowdhury, a Democrat, congressional candidate in Washington 9, has acknowledged that she does not publicly promote LGBTQ. Notice they stopped at the Q+, not the 2IA spirit. She doesn't promote LGBTQ rights on her campaign website because, wait for it, drum roll, she does not want to alienate Muslim voters. What? I thought she was a Democrat. Keep this up, please, Justin. I thought Fat Barney, sharing is caring. I told you the unholy alliance, right? Liberal commies on one side, Islamo-fanatic Nazis want to kill the Jews on the other side. They have one goal, destroy America, as long as those goals align. But the second Melissa Chowdhury or others think they can use and weaponize and target the LGBT2+A spirit, whatever the hell it is, and throw them in the meat grinder too, they'll do it. You're next, dipshits. When asked why her campaign lacked references to LGBTQ plus rights, despite saying she supports them, Chowdhury replied, because a lot of Muslims don't feel that way, unfortunately. Andy, you read that? Andy just struck. You said, well, that's so weird. It's kind of like what we said for the last 10 years, that the left was going to eat itself alive. Did we not? Andy's like, I haven't been here 10 years. I promise you, we've been saying you can actually look at the show. Here it gets bad. This gets better. And by better, I mean worse. She also said she was careful about her Muslim constituents. She was careful. Careful? Dude, that sounds kind of racist-y, doesn't it? She was I am careful around those Muslims. Really? The comments sparked backlash from Washington Stonewall Democrats who support LGBTQI, whose chair, Andrew Oshiofo, said, our community is not expendable. Yes, it is, Andrew. You just haven't figured it out yet. You haven't figured out. Our rights aren't optional. They're foundational to any candidate seeking Democrat support. Oh, good luck. Good luck, kids. Good luck with that. All right. What has two thumbs has been warning about cannibalism theory? This guy! Folks, here's Mike Gonzalez at Heritage, who's fantastic. Here's a tweet he put up right before I got in here. I sent it to the guy. You got to put. Here he is again explaining cannibalism theory more eloquently than I do. I use kind of rough language. However, this is an important tweet. Liberals, gay, queer, lesbian, gay, 2+ spirit, whatever, trans, I'm warning you, you're next, bro. Mike says, hey, this is the issue with identity politics. The different groups will fall out with each other, and when they do, the rules of the game are that the group deemed most marginalized, the current winner in the Victimhood Olympics, wins out. At this moment, LGBTQ out, Muslims in. I warned you, kids. You're getting, yes, good point, Justin. They got LGBTQIA 2+. You're getting current thing. You're not the current thing anymore. You're not the. See, here's the thing about being a Republican if you're gay. Here's the thing. Nobody gives a shit. How do you stand on taxes, the Second Amendment, abortion? Like, that's what we care about. Nobody cares. Oh, they care on that side. We got to be careful of our Muslim constituents. What? Dude, what? Huh? What? Seems kind of a weird thing to say. Stupid's a choice, dipshits. You don't have to take the stupid exit off the highway. I'm telling you, you're getting played by suckers, by a bunch of people who want to take this country down and are using you for your vote, and will throw you right down the well, Sparta style. This is Sparta. Kick your ass right down the well. You can wave the white flag of surrender. They don't give a shit. Put up this spot, Rita. I want to get to. They're targeting morons. I want to show you one of them. And show you again how they use these like appeals to identity politics to rank groups right now at the top. The current thing, Muslims first, LGBTQ now second. You've been subjugated. It's like a tiering system of victims. That's a great part of being a conservative. We don't have any of that shit. We don't play the victim game. So you don't have to worry. No one cares if you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, Turkish, Rwandan. Nobody gives a shit. On the left, you've got to come in and state your priors. My pronouns are she, zhao, though. I've got a 2 on the LGBT scale. What's a 2? I'm kind of gay, but maybe not some days. I once went to a mosque, so I get a +1 enhancer. I once learned in a senior year of high school 3 words of Spanish, so technically that gives me a 0.25 enhancer. Conservatives are like, this shit is crazy. I've acknowledged my land was stolen from the Iroquois. Did you give it back? No, I didn't give any of that shit. I love Mamdani and socialism, and I have a picture of Stalin. So you're like, that gives me another 0.75. You understand how crazy this shit is? Stupid's a choice, Syax. Stupid is a freaking choice. You don't have to get off the highway on the stupid exit. You can start to say, hey, I don't like this guy, Dan. I think he's crazy, but what he's saying sounds kind of right. This is really stupid shit. I'm going to show you what stupid looks like. This is kind of my favorite video. Remember Javier Baccaria? If you don't know who Javier Baccaria is, ask Joe Biden. The funny thing is he doesn't know who Javier Baccaria is either because that's not his real name. I'm going to show you this guy, probably the dumbest candidate running in the country right now. This guy out in California is such a clown. Watch him try to play the identity politics and fall on his face when he's talking about tacos. Oh, Andy, we got to add Jill Biden to our thing tomorrow. I got a prize for you. Andy's putting this thing together about the Democrat code switching, all the names and accents and everything. Jill Biden, the Bogotas, and we got to put the Bogotas in there. You're not going to want to miss this tomorrow. Andy's, si se puede, si se puede. No, si se puede, si se puede. That's going in there. Don't miss tomorrow. This is going to be a gem. Jason, that social guy, put that on social too tomorrow. Maybe we'll get a little preview before the show. Hey, I rely on my car for everything. Commuting, errands, family trips. I do. I'm in my car all the time. Business meetings. So when something's not working right, which unfortunately happens a lot, the cars are complicated now. It's more than just a hassle. It throws your whole routine out of balance. For me, it's the time as well as the money. You got to bring it in. It takes a couple of days. I don't have the part. It's really annoying. Costs a lot of money. You don't need those problems. I've been there. Hearing a weird noise, you're stuck wondering how big and unexpected the repair bill is going to be. It's a major inconvenience to your life. Screw up your wallet and your pocketbook, all right? Car Shield helps protect you from those surprise expenses. People love this product. They've got 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, even rental options. Make up some time if, God forbid, you're stranded. They can help you out there. You can take your car also to ASE-certified mechanics nationwide. Their plans are month to month with low deductibles. It just makes your life easier. Get rid of the hassles. Get rid of the unexpected surprises that are no good. They've been doing this for over 20 years, Car Shield. They cover over 2 million vehicles, and people actually rate them highly, which matters to us. Right now, Car Shield is offering our listeners 20% off with the code Bongino at carshield.com/Bongino. Do not let an unexpected breakdown ruin your day, your week, your month. Get covered with Car Shield. Drive with confidence. Go to carshield.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino now for 20% off. Thank you, Car Shield. We appreciate it. I need you to see this. When I talk about stupid being a choice, there are some people who voluntarily choose stupid. They're smart people. They just don't want to know the truth. I'll give you an example of that coming up in a minute because it's important to this next segment you're not going to want to miss about fucker Carlson up to it again. I can't believe the self-flagellation and humiliation just continues and he just can't stop. I'm going to tell you a little quick story about it. However, this guy's genuinely stupid. Here's Baccaria about tacos and basically shitting on business owners who have established like restaurants and family-owned restaurants selling tacos and other food over there, saying like, don't go to them. Go to the food truck instead to be like real or something. You mean like Baccaria? Check this out.
You are new to our state and visiting, and we hope you do spend some money. And if you're going to buy a street taco, buy a real street taco, not something from one of these, I'll leave it at that. All I know is that There's real food in California, and there are real street tacos, and you don't get them in some establishment that's been around for a long time. You get it on the street from the guy who's been making it for a long time in his little cart. Yeah.
Okay. Leo gets style. Okay. Put up the thing about the tweet from that guy, Barry. This guy blocked me, so I had to take a screenshot. Hey, I block people too, whatevs, man. However, the tweet's applicable here. Everybody knows Baccaria is an idiot. Axios previously reported that Susan Rice called Javier Baccaria a, quote, bitch ass, and passed a note to DHS Secretary Mayorkas reading, quote, don't save him, when Baccaria was struggling in a cabinet meeting. Baccaria is so dumb that in the victim hierarchy, he's trying to appeal to Hispanic voters, and he's trying to do this victim thing. So now he wants to look down like Jenny from the block or something. So he's got to throw like the accent in, of course. He has to do that. And then he has to say to people like, hey, man, I'm real. Like, don't go to an established business and buy it. Go to a street vendor instead. How do you think business owners who've anchored the community selling breakfast tacos for 30 years, Cisse Podway, feel about your bullshit? You notice he catches himself? You see how now we've tiered it, even in the Hispanic community. Established business owner, whatever. The Jones family, freaking Ramirez family, owns a business for 30 years selling tacos. Hey, you're no good. You got to go to the immigrant and the street vendors. You see how this endless cycle of victimhood works? They don't give a shit about you. The Unholy Alliance will crush your ass in a minute. They don't care if you're Hispanic, LGBTQ plus, but they don't care. They don't care at all. By the way, I said this the other day. Has Fetterman had enough? Listen, man, if John Fetterman, Democrat senator from Pennsylvania, wants to change parties, I'm all in. Pennsylvania is a really tough state. If this guy wants to run under the Republican brand, hey, I'm all in. It helps us on committees, helps us hold the Senate, helps us with chairmanships, helps us with potential Supreme Court and court nominees. I am all in. Fetterman seems to have had enough of this liberal identity politics, code switching, victim bullshit. Fetterman gave an interview. I really need you to hear this. I think this guy's like ready to switch parties. How do I know that? Because he's basically like hinting at it now. Check this out.
And if that becomes the Democratic platform, that we will now ever vote for any aid and we'll turn our back on Israel, then that makes me to make that decision as really what a Democrat should stand for, or being a part of my party for me. Now, Jake, I've said this, that if I change my party spontaneously right now, my views and my votes aren't going to change. It's really more of a statement and if you look at the kind of people that are winning our primaries, their centerpieces of their campaign is anti-Israel kinds of rhetoric, whether it's in my state or it's whether in New York City and what's happening in Colorado now too. If you believe the Democratic Party's future is rooted in describing Israel as apartheid state or genocidal, and they don't deserve to have our support, that forces me to say, is this really make sense for me as a Democrat with these views are continue to actually intensify?
Folks, listen, I don't vote Democrat ever under any circumstances. I'm just telling you, like, I really believe this guy understands this unholy alliance argument, that they're next, including Fetterman. They don't care if you're a Democrat, lesbian, gay, trans. They don't care if you own a taco business in LA and you speak Spanish, if you're an immigrant or not. If you are useful to them destroying the United States, they will accept you until you're not, and then you're down the well too. This is Sparta. This is the crazy Democrat woke movement.
Stop, man! Do not leave!
Brave, he's begging them. Please stop doing this crazy stuff. Put up that end wokeness tweet. Folks, stupid is a choice. And I can make a strong case to you now. We have reached peak stupid. When you start to see like Van Jones and other pretty loyal Democrats, Carville and others, Fetterman, who runs on some pretty Bernie-like ideas. When you see them start to turn, you realize there's an inflection point. There was this end wokeness tweet, and it's just crazy. Like the Smithsonian, you probably saw the testimony up on the Hill. The Smithsonian Museum, meant to celebrate facts. If facts don't matter, what does? Smithsonian's white supremacy list. Individualism, self-reliance, nuclear families, rational, linear thinking, work before you play, plan for the future. This just sounds like a 12-step book to success. What are you saying? Black people and Hispanics who own a taco restaurant don't believe in this too? Do you understand these people are reaching the crescendo of stupid? We are on like the Kilimanjaro of stupid right now. And even Democrats are starting to wake up to this, that this is not a sustainable platform. Folks, here's what it looks like. Get that Brandon Gill. Brandon Gill's just been amazing up there. Again, don't fall in love with politicians, fall in love with results. And this guy has been doing really well at messaging in almost like a Trumpian manner, maybe not the same emotion involved, but his style works too. He's like the VDH to President Trump. But watch him just break down this American Bar Association lady. The Democrats tell you they're all about implicit bias and victimhood culture. Okay. Well, what's your implicit bias? Oh, I'm not willing to say. I thought, so everyone else is biased, but not you? Watch him just ask simple questions using Alinsky's rules. Saul Alinsky's rule. The Democrats are going to impose a rule. Implicit bias is a real problem. Everyone has it. Okay, what's yours? They can't even abide by their own rules. This is genius. Check this out.
According to the ABA's website, quote, all of us have implicit biases. Would you agree with that statement?
The ABA believes that diversity, equity, and inclusion improves the practice.
Would you agree with the statement that, quote, all of us have implicit biases from the ABA's website?
The ABA believes that diversity in all of its
Is that a
realms
yes?
is
Can I take that? It's a yes or no question. Do you believe that all of us have implicit biases, as your website says?
The ABA looks to remove barriers, and we examine.
That's not my question, ma'am. Do you believe that all of us have implicit biases?
I've expressed what the ABA is doing.
That is the ABA's position as expressed by their website. Against which groups do you have implicit biases?
The ABA believes that it's important to always explore.
Are you going to filibuster? Because it doesn't make you sound very good. I'm going to ask you again, against which groups do you have implicit biases?
It's important to always examine everyone's point of view and where they may need to consider.
It is. What about your point of view?
I am here as the president of the American Bar Association.
And I'm asking you what your implicit biases are.
The ABA as an entity.
Have you reflected on your implicit biases?
I think about how I operate in the world constantly.
Would you like to explain to us what they are?
I am here speaking on behalf of the ABA and the ABA's.
All right, we're going to move on.
You're here speaking on behalf of the ABA that's taken this position that everyone has these pernicious, destructive, implicit biases. Everyone. Okay, what are yours? I'm not willing to talk about that. Okay, so it's a rule for everyone else. You want everyone, white male, white woman, successful Jew, successful Asian person to sit there and genuflect before you and confess their sins from successful adulthood, but you're not willing to state your own. It sounds like you're full of shit. Stupid is a choice, folks. Don't take the SIAC exit. Folks, if facts don't matter, what does? I just want to end with this because I want to burn a lot of time. This is getting exhausting, but I want to just show you again that you have a choice out there. I am in a meritocratic business. The reason we have 49,000 people here today watching the show, a freaking football stadium full of people, is because we don't bullshit you. We're willing to take on the jobs and the sacrifices and come back. And Motley's in the chat. The SIACs are exposing the SIACs. But he keeps going again. Tucker Carlson with this nonsense. I've asked him now over and over publicly on Twitter. He keeps claiming the president is involved in some, criminal obstruction of justice, President Trump, to block the investigation into his own shooting, which, again, on its face is up there with like a Baccaria statement. So Tucker Ocasio-Cortez, he just keeps saying it and says, oh, I have these texts between me and Dan. I've already shown you the text. They say the exact opposite. The exact opposite. He keeps going. I've never seen an example in my life of self-flagellation. A guy so willing to humiliate himself. I have said to him, and I'll say again, please put them out. Show us the text. Your words, Here's this media eye piece from yesterday where I saw this. This popped this morning. He interviewed with Stephen A. Smith. Tucker told Stephen A. Smith, and I pushed them, meaning the FBI, really hard. The deputy director, the guy in charge of the investigation. I talked to them all. Why can't we see this information? Why wouldn't they answer the question? Turns out, he claims, Trump told them not to release it, to, quote, shut down the investigation. News to us, considering I told him the exact opposite. And numerous interviews we've given, you can look it up. Again, the Fox News piece with Brooke Singman, we did well over an hour interview with them, answered all their questions, said the investigation is, in fact, not closed. It's pending any new leads that would come in. Of course, he knows that, but he's a liar. Then he says, I can't think of a non-sinister reason for Trump to shut down an investigation into his own attempted murder. I find this part hilarious. I've already texted him, showed you the text of me telling him the exact opposite. The investigation's not shut down. Trump never ordered it. You're lying about this whole thing. He's a liar. And suckers still fall for this guy, just like they fall for Baccaria because they made the stupid choice. Notice how he implies that there's a sinister reason that Donald Trump shut down the investigation into his own murder. You just saw it. I can't think of a non-sinister reason, means he thinks there's a sinister reason. Correct, guys? That's logic, right? Compass true north. Like, for all the fans of this idiot who still fall for his bullshit, this carnival barker, Times Square salesman, Tucker Ocasio-Cortez, I know you're watching too. Don't you feel like a clown? It's been almost a month now where I've told you to release, and you still keep saying you have them, but you won't release them. The answer is because you don't have anything. Matter of fact, here's a text exchange where there's a screenshot of a text he sent me that says the exact opposite about sinister. It's right there. And my response to him. I had texted him months ago. Here's the text he doesn't want to show you. This is me at the top, and then me, and there's a screenshot there. I said, I can call you sometime. And the reason there's a screenshot is because he sent that to me. In other words, he has it. He goes, this is a screenshot of something you sent me. So I sent it right back to him. And he said, I can call you, me, sometime to explain the lack of a public press conference on the case. And I did call him, and I explained to him there were no new leads that had panned out. The president doesn't call a press conference into his own murder in the middle of the day if there were no new leads that panned out. I explained this to him, and he knows that. I promise on my integrity that it's nothing sinister. Leave that. Sounds like I said the opposite. It's nothing sinister. He's claiming he has texts that say it's sinister. It says the exact opposite, right? I'm just asking you to use logic if you listen to this guy. He's a clown. Now, when he sent me that back saying, hey, look at this. This is my evidence that Trump shut the investigation down. I responded, hilarious. You're the single dumbest Podcastistan PSYOP host out there. You just sent me an exchange which completely discredits your lies. You're really not that bright. Stay away from the drugs. I got to tell you, this isn't funny, but I'm actually having fun with this at this point because I have never seen a guy so humiliate himself over and over again. He calls Ted Cruz a murderer what? He's a murderer now? Folks, the guy's a clown. These segments get boring and stupid. It's just over time. Oh, I promised I would tell you. It's a quick story. You may ask yourself, why does SciAx exist? People who've chosen stupid, because it does happen. Some people, stupid's forced upon them, Baccaria, AOC. Why does someone like Tucker choose stupid? And why do people who listen to him, although they know he's lying, I've proved it to you over and over, why do they continue to listen to him? I'm a young agent working out of the Long Island office with the Secret Service out there, right? And I get a call from this doctor. We used to have this thing called WATIF, the West African Task Force, that was deemed like some politically incorrect name, so they changed it to IONOCTIF, like intra-agency, Nigerian organized crime, whatever bullshit, whatever. In Nigeria, the country, there's a big problem with fraud. There's fraud in a lot of places, but there's a lot of it in Nigeria. So remember the 419 scams? You'd get a letter, I'm a Nigerian prince. You remember that? Well, I was in the Long Island office and working with WATIF on a case, the West African Task Force, that handled this. And I get a call from this doctor guy, very smart. I don't know what he was, a dermatologist, neurosurgeon, who the hell cares? This guy had lost $300,000 true story, bro, to this fake Nigerian prince. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe this guy. I didn't get into medical school. I couldn't believe that a guy with an IQ in the top 90th percentile, if not more, had fallen for this. It's like, I know people with IQs in the 20th percentile who know this is a scam. So where's this story going? Folks, stupid is a choice. Tucker may put on this facade of intelligence, but stupid, smart people are a real problem. The doctor, I told him, I said, hey, whatever, Dr. Bag of Donuts, you got scammed, like the money's gone. I'm sorry. I said, what we can do is, I think this may be part of a larger case, and I think we can go and possibly arrest them if they come to the United States. Because in Nigeria, they weren't going to turn him over. Do you know the guy didn't want us to arrest him? You're like, why? That doesn't make sense. Because stupid is a choice. Because he was convinced that the guy was really a Nigerian prince and he was going to get his money back. He was only calling us to kind of warn us off, not to get the guy arrested. Folks, I went home that day. I don't know if I was dating Paula back then or not. It was right. It had to be. Maybe it was early days of dating Paula because she met me when I was in Melville back in 2001 in Long Island. And I told her, I cannot believe this. A freaking super smart, unbelievably intelligent doctor really believes this Nigerian won't let us investigate further. He doesn't want to sign off on any complaints or anything like that. Sometimes really smart people can't believe they've been scammed. They can't believe they've been scammed. It's like that old Yuri Bezmenov KGB defector video we play all the time, where once you've bought into the socialist bullshit and the lies and the President Trump obstructing justice into his own murder, like something so stupid, really smart people who watch this guy have a hard time believing they've been scammed. They're still holding out hope that $300,000 is going to materialize. No matter how many people tell them, it's over, Johnny. The leg got swept. You're finished. They don't want to accept it because they can't believe they've been that stupid. So what do? They just change the goalpost. They just changed the goalpost. Oh, yeah, he said he had a text that said Trump shut down the investigation. That's not what he really meant. No, he actually said, and I still have them. So why don't you? Because he's the doctor who lost the $300,000. I'm just asking you if you listen to these numbnuts, him and others. Pull shocks now. I don't care if you listen to me or not. There's 1,000 other people you can choose. I'm just telling you, those guys are bullshitting you. This is a Watif case, and you're getting scammed. Enough said. All right, there is a White House briefing coming up. So I was I was supposed to be on Will Cain yesterday, but President Trump was giving a speech and wiped out the Will Cain show. I'm supposed to be on Ingram tonight. We'll see what happens with that and the speeches and stuff. But the reason I bring that up is they apologized to me for canceling Will Cain show. And I was like, guys, don't apologize. Like, I love doing content on Fox. However, when the president's talking, give me your feedback in the chat on this. Seriously, I'm not messing around. Like, when the president's talking, no one wants to hear my hit on Will's show. I'm like, don't apologize to me at all. You would have destroyed my career if you would have put me. We're going to interrupt the president for Dan Bongino. I don't even want to hear what I have to say in that situation. So there's a White House presser coming up. So we have to pick the comment of the day. You know the contest. Our first winner was at our bar or something yesterday. Somebody announced. So great job on that. We're going to give away our first $1,776. The contest is really easy every week. We're giving away $1,776 to somebody watching the show. It's easy. You just have to join the show live at 10 a.m. Comment in the chat. If we pick your comment, you win the comment of the day. You go into the weekly drawing. One of you wins a cash prize every week. That's it. See official rules at Bongino.com/1776. And today's comment of the day is LCAC6755. I love Dan's fake conversations with his staff. They make me feel better when I'm having conversations that I live alone. Now, LCA, the conversations are real. However, sometimes in the need to expedite the response, I will answer for them, correct? The conversations, I promise, are very real, except the only one If I ask Justin, Josh, or Andy, the response is immediate. There's nothing fake about the response or anything. And I'm looking, it's a big glass bubble over there. You can see him. The only one sometimes I have to answer for, because I already know, is Guy. Because Guy he's been here so long, he barely even turns around anymore. Like, he'll be on the screen, I don't know what he's doing, Dungeons and Dragons or whatever, and he doesn't even care. So sometimes I have to answer for Guy. He's got the headphones on. He's like, whatever, man, I'll get to you. The other ones answer right away. Andy give you a thumbs up. Justin will just open the door and start talking to you. So I'm glad you brought the great comment of the day. There's some internal dynamics of the show. They're not fake, but yes, you are correct. Sometimes I do have to answer for Guy. He's just a little, a little slow, and he's been here the longest. He's like, I'll get to this guy when I get to him. I don't really care. Don't miss Haley coming up at noon, rumble.com/Haley. Vince every day at 8 a.m., rumble.com/Vince. Download the free Rumble app. Hey, did you update my thing? Oh, we added another 10,000 followers on Rumble. Thanks to you. The show is growing by the day, the week, the month. Download the Rumble app. It is absolutely free. You want to watch on the web? You don't like apps? Cool. Rumble.com/Bongino. Just click that follow button. 10,000 more people. We're at 3.66 million now. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. You can also watch on your smart TV. Yeah, your smart TV has apps too. You just go to the search thing, put in Rumble, download it, boom. Watch for, did you get it? Oh, there's sound effects now. Look at that, 366. Nice. Thank you, Bongino Army. We appreciate you continuing to grow the show. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. I'll see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Hey there, I'm Vince.
I'm Haley Caradia.
Host of Vince.
Host of Scrolling with Haley.
You can always catch my show right here.
Right here on the Bongino Report.
Live, 8 a.m. Eastern, weekday mornings.
Weekdays at noon. If you miss it, no worries. The show will always be
right here
and anywhere you find podcasts. Thanks for watching.